Everyone knows the angels of the Dragon Ball universe are intimidatingly powerful, associated with gods of destruction, and seemingly couldn't care less about entire universes being wiped out in the blink of an eye. No matter what happens in fanfiction, an angel could never fall for a god of destruction, and believe it or not, all the angels are actually related to one another. Dating prospects for these guys are pretty limited, but somehow we don't think they're losing any sleep over it. Today, we're going to be taking a look at these fascinating deities and talking about some strange rules they all seemingly have to follow. Love. In the Dragon Ball universe, the gods of destruction are characters who should not be underestimated. They have massive amounts of power and can tear apart worlds in the blink of an eye, but being a god of destruction is a tough job. And you can't clown around. Well, unless you're Belmod, the god of destruction for Universe 11, who literally looks like a clown. Despite having a penchant for destruction and looking like a very scary clown, Belmod is a perfectly chill guy most of the time. He also has an angel assistant named Marcarita, and the two make a very familiar pair. In fact, it's hard not to notice that. Between Belmod's clown paint and Marcarita's pigtails, the two of them look like a regular Joker and Harley Quinn pair. In fact, this was even taken to the extreme in the manga, where the two were frequently depicted as more than just co-workers. Instead, Belmod and Marcarita seem to be in love with one another. At least until Akira Toriyama put a stop to it. He corrected his successor, Toyotaro, and claimed that there was no way an angel would ever fall in love with a god of destruction. Since the angels ultimately take orders from Zeno, they don't have dispensation for office romances. We're sure there's plenty of fanfiction out there that disagrees, but we have to defer to Toriyama on this one. Revived. As you've probably noticed by now, angels are some of the most powerful beings in the cosmology of Dragon Ball. Not only do they assist the gods of destruction and keep them in check, but they're also responsible for training them. Whis is even able to warp so quickly he can affect the flow of time. In addition to having powers of divination and incredible healing, the angels can also resurrect characters who've fallen in battle. Whis was able to resurrect Frieza without batting an eye. But there are some limitations to the powers of the angels, although quite frankly they're few and far between. While Whis made bringing Frieza back look easy, he can't revive someone who has been killed by a demon. In the Dragon Ball Super manga, Jiren is trying to resurrect his former master. Jiren's on a quest to receive the Super Dragon Balls because it's the only way to bring him back to life since he was killed by a demon. Even the power of an angel wouldn't be enough to revive him under such circumstances. Gods of Destruction. We mentioned that angels are stronger than the gods of destruction they accompany because it's their responsibility to train them and make them strong. But it's also out of necessity, since they are occasionally called upon to keep them in line. The angels and gods of destruction have a kind of strange relationship in which the angels serve the gods of destruction, but also keep them in check when the situation calls for it. Like the time Beerus from Universe 7 and Champa from Universe 6 started to get into it, forcing their respective angels, Whis and Vados, to intervene. As you've probably guessed from their titles, the gods of destruction, well, they destroy things. People, places, planets, you get the picture. But there have to be limits, and the angels have to enforce them. We've seen Whis easily put a stop to Beerus when he nearly went on a wasabi-fueled rampage in Dragon Ball Super. Frankly, Beerus has caused more than his fair share of destruction over the years, so it's good that Whis is around to keep him in check. Although apparently no force in the universe can stop him from napping. Erased. There are many ways to meet your end in the Dragon Ball universe. In fact, there are way too many to list, but as you can probably imagine, it's not easy to take down an angel. In fact, we've seen them survive the destruction of their entire universes. During the Tournament of Power, we watched Zeno destroy the losing universes in the blink of an eye, yet their angels were unharmed. When Zeno wiped out Universe 9, its angel Mohito even smiled when it happened. Things like this have served to convince some fans that there's something up with the angels who may not be as impartial and benevolent as they appear. While we don't know for sure that they're up to no good, it's definitely an interesting theory at the very least. Or it could just mean Mohito isn't a sentimental type. Either way, it's clear the angels are nearly indestructible, and it's interesting to note that their existence doesn't rely on the existence of their associated universe. It's no wonder fans wonder if the angels are all that attached to the universes they call home. Sleep. Despite their vast powers, the angels can act pretty human from time to time. They even love indulging in food to quite an extreme extent. But although they love to eat, it turns out the angels don't need to sleep at all. It makes sense that these ultra-powerful beings probably function quite differently than we do, but we've seen some other powerful beings in the Dragon Ball universe sleep, the most notable of whom is probably Beerus, the god of destruction for Universe 7. Even though he's feared by many majorly powerful characters, including the Supreme Kais, Frieza, and Shenron, he still can't resist a good cat nap from time to time. He pretty much causes massive amounts of destruction while awake and then slips into a peaceful slumber, just like a real cat. Perhaps his most notable nap happened during the All-Universe Hide-and-Seek tournament, where he derailed the event by sleeping for 50 years. But the angels don't have to experience sleeping, and really it seems to make sense considering how powerful they are. In fact, it's even stranger that literal gods need to get their shut-eye and can easily spend decades slumbering. Halos. We're not gonna lie, even for the most ardent Dragon Ball fan, the cosmology of the universe can be kinda confusing. Of course, we have the angels with a capital A, who are each associated with a god of destruction and have amazing magical powers. But then there are the angels with a lowercase a, who are just deceased people who have managed to retain their bodies in the other world. During the Fortune Teller Baba scene in Dragon Ball, we saw dear old Grandpa Gohan return to the land of the living, supporting a halo hovering over his head. In fact, the presence of a halo is used to denote the existence of angels with a lowercase a in various series. In the 4Kids dub of Dragon Ball Kai, the halos are blurred to look like glowing orbs instead for some reason. Who are we to question the wisdom of 4Kids? But the uppercase angels have halos as well, they just look quite different from the ones we're used to seeing. Their halos are blue instead of gold, and in most cases, they're located around the angels' necks. The exception to this rule is the Grand Minister, whose halo floats behind his head. There's another form of angel in the Dragon Ball universe referred to as the Angels of Hell, and these ones don't seem to have halos. Instead, they appear as cute, cuddly, cheerful creatures, who are absolute torture to characters like Frieza. Seriously, this version of the underworld looks kinda fun, but apparently Frieza isn't a fan. Names. Everyone knows that characters in the Dragon Ball universe tend to have theme names like how Saiyans are named after vegetables. For some reason, the angels are all named after alcoholic beverages, some of which are more obvious than others. The angel for Universe 1 is Awamo, who's named after Awamori, a distilled rice beverage from Okinawa. Universe 2 has Sour, who's named after the sour variety of mixed drinks, and Universe 3 has Camparri, who's named after Camparri, an Italian liqueur. Then we have the Universe 4 angel, Cognac, named after a type of brandy from Cognac, France. The angel from Universe 5 is Cocktail, whose name is a reference to the word cocktail. God of Destruction Champa from Universe 6 is accompanied by Vados, whose name is based on Calvados, a brandy from Normandy. Next we have Whis, the angel of Universe 7, whose name has a slightly funny origin story, or maybe we should say slightly punny. The Universe 7 god of destruction Beerus was named by screenwriter Yusuke Watanabe, and his Japanese name is Beerusu, a pun on the word virus. But Akira Toriyama thought he was named after beer, so he named his assistant Whis after whiskey. Then we have Universe 8 with Korn, who, contrary to popular belief, isn't named after the new metal band, but rather a type of spirit called corn or cornbran. We also have Mohito from Universe 9, named after, well, mojitos, and Universe 10's Kusu, named after an aged Awamori. You could probably figure out Universe 11's Marcarita and Universe's 12's Martinu. Emotion. We know Akira Toriyama thinks it's impossible for an angel to fall for a god of destruction, and we'll take his word for that. But it does seem like, overall, the angels display a surprising lack of emotion for the most part. During the Tournament of Power, entire universes are blinked out of existence, and none of the angels really seem to care. Of course, to an extent, this makes sense, considering how ancient and powerful they are, but still, there's something unsettling about their lack of reactions during major moments. There are a couple of exceptions to this rule, though. Camparri has been shown to care about other beings, and they care about him as well. When Universe 3 is being erased, Mule even leaves his robot suit in order to thank Camparri for all of his help. Kusu is the angel from Universe 10, and she actually looked sad to see her universe get erased. We know that may not sound like much, but when you consider her fellow angel Mohito actually smiled when his universe was erased, you can see why it's kind of a big deal. Elimination. Earlier, we talked about the fact that angels survive, even when Zeno erases their universes from existence. In fact, while most angels seem pretty invulnerable to harm, they do have a completely reasonable fear of Zeno. In fact, pretty much everyone except for Goku is smart enough to know to tread lightly around the Omni King. Zeno seems to be the one enemy the angels could never defeat, and some fans believe they may be hoping to change that. But that's fan theory for another video. However, there's also future Zeno to worry about, and we've seen him wipe out everything in the future, including the Angels. The only beings to survive from his timeline were himself, future Trunks, and future Mai. Rank. Although the Angels have a lot in common with one another, there's definitely one who stands out as being at a higher rank. While most angels accompany gods of destruction, the Grand Minister serves Zeno himself and has done so for thousands of years. Unlike the other angels, the Grand Minister doesn't rely on a staff to use his incredible powers, but apparently he's been doing more than just serving Zeno for all of this time, considering he's had time to father all of the other angels. That's right, the angels are all related to one another, and their father is none other than the Grand Minister himself. Kusu is the oldest, despite looking more childlike than her siblings. We're not sure what's stranger, the fact that the Grand Minister has so many kids or the fact that they're all named after alcoholic beverages. Apparently there isn't any kind of angel child protection agency in the Dragon Ball universe. What are your thoughts about the angels in the Dragon Ball universe? Do you think they're definitely up to something, or is there something about them you want to know? Share your thoughts with us in the comment section below and then click on that subscribe button for more videos from us here at CBR. Bye for now.